Hello, can you hear me? I don't understand if my stream work or not. Oh, I see it. And it works is as good as I anticipated. First of all, I want to put it mildly. I want to make stream without a lot of grammar mistakes, as I did it before, but we must determine theme or our discuss. But so that to do it, we must find someone who want to join to our translation. It will help us to make our translation much more interesting, and maybe you have something particular to discuss, and but I want to tell you about a story what occurred today. No sooner had I come to Moscow, one of those who visit this Moscow suddenly stood up and started to shouting in in language that I don't know, that I not know. Maybe it was Tatar language, or maybe something else. But after he as soon as he stopped shouting, our Imam said that he visited our republic from Uyghur Republic in China, and tried to exclaim us that we have to help Uyghurs people to help them out of their problems, but he don't understand that we can do nothing, because we have our problem in our republic and even country, when somewhere breakthrough occasion, like explode destroyed some kind of house, and after that Muslims have been blamed that they did it, but we all know that it's a mistake, or even a lie. In that I assure much more than at first. Oh, hello friend Muslim Bergman. Do you want to speak with me? It's quite dull to do it without someone who can help me. Maybe we would able to discuss something new, what happened for example in our Moscow today. One of Uyghur men stood up and start shouting that we do nothing with the problem that they have in their republic, uh, as China oppressed them in camps for camps arranged for make from them good behavior men for living in China, and how can I describe it? And he blamed us that we uh, do nothing to help them, but what we able to do when we have our own problem and struck in same problems that they have, but much more easier, of course. But we should understand that only thing what we can do it's dua, and even if we take the guns and proceed in their country in case to help them fend off attacks of China's, it's useless attempt, because we will be we will immediately vapor and no one able to help them at present. But I hope maybe it will be European Europeans or some kind of Arabic countries who incline in this situation and trying to change something with their bad situation. And China's well-known oppressors, and who don't want to have a way of life that have others. China's immediately abducted in these camps and tortured until they admit that China party is most gorgeous party in the world, and there is no Allah in this world, and only China greatest power, and only party of communist could provide them all necessity, excluding Allah. But we understand that soon or later Allah will take those oppressors and sentence them to sentence them to I see explicit near my face. Need to reinstall my program in case to well, I want to sleep, I suppose. And when that man started, no sooner had that man started shouting in the mosque, I decided to get close to him and tried to make him incense, but he pushed me, and keeping crying and shouting that we do nothing to help them. But I explained him that it's a special day, Juma, where we supposed to sit quiet without making noise, and only after Azan he sit down and listen lecture carefully. I understand that we have to do something with those who under oppressing of China's, but we have no power, excluding dua, and maybe once we have power we do something. But now we all the Muslims under oppressing of those who have power, and China sooner or later reach Russian Federation and do same things with us, I suppose, and we can't avoid it because China haven't too much resources to feed their people, and they will be forced to settle, to make to move in other countries, so that find a necessity for their life. And I trying to move my picture in left corner. If you want to speak with me, please let me know, and I will join you in this translation, and we will speak with you. Maybe it would better if I proceed in Mumble program and find English server where many people who speak in English. But before I do it, I will make my speaking abilities a bit better that I have now. How can I move it? What we have now? Could I manage it? And what I want to say, I decided to make video about Uyghur people who are under oppressing of China, and again exclaimed things that we have reposted such kind of video to give as much as we can people to know about it, because the more people would know about these oppressions, the better it will be for it will be for all of us. Uh, I had I had got through so much various kinds of books and still speak with a lot of mistakes, and I don't and I can't do with this problem nothing. And I suppose it's only way to improve English to proceed in country with native English and live there at least half half a year, and this only way it seems for me now. And a couple days ago I tried to find additional work for me because I have Monday and Thursday free, and I wanted to find additional lessons in nearest school, and it would it was Brighton school, not so far from my house. And no sooner had I proceed to that school when I prepare myself to do it so properly, but when I came chief of this school, it was a woman. Af After I was tested, he explained me that I have not enough skills to learn to teach adults pupils, because it quite noticing that I haven't enough experience and never been in London or USA, and I made many mistakes in her tests that I was given, but I don't think so. How many people you know who able to speak at least like me without being in England or USA? I find my skills quite satisfying for those experience that I have, and maybe if I do it often and do it with more attention to grammar, I will be speak much better than she do after all. But after that scarcely had I left this school, when I disappointed with myself by myself, because I learned too much every day. I am learning too much every day, and still can't speak properly to satisfied chief of school. And one thing make me wonder. When I came to that school, I immediately asked that woman couple questions in English, and he put her head down and was thinking about something, and it seems she tried to find answer on my question in English, because it's the same behavior as I see when I trying to speak with someone who have confined experience in English speaking. And only the but after grammar test, she explained me that I have not enough qualification and special education too. She asked me 3 questions in English, but it's quite easy to conduct if you do not force to tell story about your life, what you did, what you do, what you want to do. Only ask these questions that she did. It's quite easy, but I still wonder why she didn't answer me on my question when I came in her school. It's quite interesting, because I suppose she not so qualified as I I preferred before. Because if you have enormous experience to speak in English, you easily fend off every question that throw it in direction, throw it toward you. And I decided don't disappointing myself and trying to visit another school, also not so far from my house, in reason to save time that I spending to reach my work, as I do with Avantaya, where I am working right now, where I work now. And I think if you have your own school and someone came to you in case to work with you, and he really obsessed with foreign languages, you at least should try giving him some lessons to test him, and after that make a final decision about his skills, and how much men teachers you know. Wherever I was, I see only women, and it's quite dull to admit that so many men working in this area. But I find quite interesting to have man teacher, because he prompted to respect him if for example it's Petrov from Russia 24 channel. I can't learn with women, because whatever they do or speak, I can't consider themselves as example for me, because maybe it's only that they woman, and it's not gender qualification, but only explanation of my own feelings about women teachers. I assured that they really perfectly known in grammar things, but uh, afraid of make afraid of making mistake forced them to be quiet all the time, because they confine themselves only easy kinds of sentences like did you call him yesterday, because there is quite easy to make it grammar correctly, but whatever many people speak about my grammar mistakes, I firmly assured that you never reach any kind of level, high level of any language without making a lot of mistakes, because that way lead you in direction of perfect, and even you training in gym, first of all you make many mistakes. You can lift only a small weight without you even can't lift your own weight, but when you exercises every day, or as often as you can, after all you will reach that level that you satisfied you. And indeed I'm proud of me that I get through such difficult way, and make me to learn English every day, because when I was young I even didn't attend school that occupied that situated quite near to my house. It was only 50 meters, but now I forced me to do it every day, and it's in very beginning was quite hard for me, but now I only receiving a daily pleasure from it. And even these teachers who obsessed with grammar never admitting me, I will be forced to reconcile with it and live without their USSR English too. Such people like me forced to live, to be alone in their way, because I think such people like me trying to live common way of whatever kind of deal we speak, whether it's science's way, or maybe as I have teaching way, where is kind of it. It's quite difficult to put yourself from this struck from this turf, and lead in direction of brightest future. and only thing that I could uh, to advise you that never disappointing with yourself, and uh, every time when you upset with yourself, uh, make these things that you do much more harder, and uh, I can tell you about my situation. Hardly had I got through my books, I was refused in in several schools that I have no special education or experience in other schools, excluding my experience in that schools where I work. Now it's about 5 months, not more. Uh, let's don't consider ourselves that useless piece of shit because of some kinds of women who even don't able to speak fluently themselves, trying to offend us for our attempting for our attempts to go out beyond these frames that they and their parents established in a particular area. In my case, this is English, okay, of course. What you have to know about English, you have only these things that you able to pronounce in common conversation without preparation and things like that, because you could know various kind of grammar rules. You could have a precious pronunciation. You even maybe got through YG or other things from this area, but you in real confined only those things that you able to pronounce in freely conversation. For example, if I meet you somewhere and ask you something, and you answer me in a particular way, and we set our conversations and we keep our conversation, and only these things that you able to say and tell me, describing your knowledge in English or other language. It doesn't matter how lot you know in particular language, how much you can write in your notebook, because much more important to pronounce what you have learned before, and as well as you could use it in real conversation, depict you in a real English area as that man who able to speak freely. And if you, for instance, if you, for instance, come in England and easily explain what you want from those who passing by you, what you want from here, and even tell him a couple stories from your life. It's much more important that than all your grammar knowledge that you and that you have got through many kinds of tests and other things like that. But I'd better would have such skills which could help me to speak with English people, that opportunities to get through these tests, because it seems we understand forgot that main cause of speaking any language is our capabilities to speak whatever we want. And if you do it without preparations or pick in your notebook with your text, it's quite much important that every kind of writing skills, if you're not writer, of course. And I hope I find work that will be satisfied me, because it's quite important to have well-paid work in our tents, because your knowledge, if they don't well paid, appears useless, and it's quite sad for whatever you are. And what I supposed to say yet? This is first time that I'm trying to speak without many mistakes, but after all, I did same same quantities of mistakes as I did before, as I had before. But you don't think that I access grammar as useless things. I'm spending on it every day, all my time, all my free time, and trying to improve it. But it's due with my specific of my mind and brain. I reach such things quite harder than maybe it do women's. But I believe in myself and believe in you that we sooner or later reach this point when even these women admit us as good speakers. But if they don't, it's quite unnecessary to have. usually I speak even worse than I do it now, as today is being obsessed with my education. I decided to make broadcasting again. Whatever I speak horribly and even irritate you, it doesn't matter for me, because I'm only trying, and it's only way to improve as grammar as well as my speaking skills. But I find out a new way to do it. It's use speaking programs like Mumble, where you're able to choose country and join in conversation of these who playing some kind of games, and pretend that you are interested in their games, speak with them and improve your skills. It's quite a good way, as I think. And my neglectance proceeded from my own mistake, that I don't able to memorize all the things that I had got through, but maybe some when I do it properly, and we will meet here again, and you estimate my skills as good, or at least near good. But now I understand that I do many mistakes, logic mistakes too. But whatever I do, I'm trying. I'm not offend someone in grammar mistakes instead of speaking myself. I'm trying to do it every day, and only these who prove their speaking abilities and opportunities able to judge me without their grammar offendance, as I could describe it. And when they prove that they're able to do it much more better than I do, only then I will listen them. But now my eyes tired, and I should save it and give him some rest to learn English subsequently. I no sooner hardly had I returned from Moscow, I boiled water and pour boiled water in my cup, stirred it, and with my coffee I'm speaking all this time with you. But if you decided to join me, I will be happy to have you in my translation. Whatever skills you have, it's unnecessary to have something better than I do. Only your determined interested there, and no more. But now it's about time I night out. I'm going to I have to be up through 1 hour in 1 hour because I have many things to do, and now I only wish you well healthy and prosperity in your life, and see you later, my friends.